This is HTML lesson number 73. In a previous video, I showed you how to place extra space between words. In this video, I will show you how to place extra space between lines. Let's get started. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to give you a clue right now. Does that clue you in? I'm sure it does. Okay. Let's see. You could have an underscore between my and paragraph if you want, but you must not have a space between my and paragraph, otherwise it will just read it as my and it won't read paragraph. Important thing to remember. Also, do not forget your brace. Okay, now we're going to lean this down just a pinch so you can read what we're going to do next. Okay. Let's try. Okay. Now, obviously, if we're going to have a head, we're going to have a head tag. We're also going to have a body tag. So I'm going to type the body in right now. I know you're not going to see anything, but just listen carefully. Oops. Okay, now, in between the body tags, we have two paragraph tags. One has an ID on it, and I'm going to show you that in just a second here. Let's lean this down. I may have to adjust the camera just a pinch. Oops. Bear with me. There we go. Now you see we got two paragraph tags. One has no ID, the other one does. Okay? Now, the sentence in the first paragraph reads as follows. This text is above the other text. Okay? That's between the opening and closing paragraph tags. This is the first set of paragraph tags right here. I'll show you that right now. This text is above the other text. You can write this down or type it whatever you want. Now the second set of paragraph tags, this one has an ID on it. Okay? And it goes back to the selector up here. This is your selector, and this is your attribute right down here. And they match. They have to match in order for this to work. Okay? Now, what is between these paragraph tags? It says, this text is below the previous text. I'll say that again. this text is below the previous text. You could type this whatever you want. Okay? Now, bear with me one more time as I make some adjustments. Okay. Now that's back under control, what we're going to do is we're going to click File, Save As. We're going to save this into HTML Student. You know how to do this by now. Okay? And then we're going to type in line underscore height.html. That's line underscore height.html. We're going to save this. And now we're going to open up my documents. We're going to open up HTML Student. And now we're going to go down to line height.html. And we have to give it just a moment because it's being a pain in the butt. Okay. Now you say, well, there's lots of space between this particular line of text and this particular line of text, but this one has a smaller font size. Why is that? Because we didn't give it an ID. You say, well, can we fix that? Of course we can. We'll just go like this, and we'll type in like this. Like this. Now lean this down just a bit so you can actually read it. And now all we have to do is save it. And then we go back over here. And, oh yes, almost forgot. If you're going to have a selector up here, you got to make sure you have an ID down here. And I'll show you that in just a second. Make sure that your attribute down here in your first paragraph is an identical match to the selector up here. Because if you don't, it's not going to look right. Alright, as you can see here, we gave the first paragraph tag in this particular project the ID of first paragraph. Now let's go ahead and save it. And as soon as we do, and we do this, does that look a little bit better? Of course it does. See what I mean? So that's a very easy fix right there. Alright. Now then, you say, well, we have added extra space between words. We have added extra space between lines of text. Could we add anything else? Yes, you can. You can add a shadow to your headings. You can actually add a shadow to any text you want. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the next video. So I want you to stay tuned.